Alright, so last month we ended up getting a new video about male privilege. I did a previous video on this about privilege in gaming, and I was calling out how stupid it was. Well, Reddit had been filled with a lot of shilling over that. I say shilling because there was really no proof or evidence offered within the video or by the people who in this thread who were defending the video. Of course, you can read the comment from the original poster again that, oh, it doesn't mean that they don't believe it. Well, do you believe in crop circles as well, or alien abductees? So I should just humor the ideas that somebody might believe something. Well, just because you believe something doesn't necessarily make it true. I went throughout that thread trying to say burden of proof, provide examples, and I get the standard listen and believe shit. This comment and every other comment by the same user had been deleted throughout that thread. No shilling, huh? Something tells me that somebody was astroturfing this whole thread. We just keep getting the same crap that Sargon has pointed out in his videos, is that they don't really care about the truth. They just care about the narrative. Let's put your listen and believe into perspective and see if it makes sense if you change the context. So let me get this straight. I'm just supposed to believe somebody because tits. Well, let me inform you of something. That's a privilege that you're giving to women solely based on their gender. I dare say that would be a female privilege. I have to apologize. I lost a little bit of my cool there throughout this thread. And I went off onto this person. But I still stand by what I said at the last. I've highlighted it here. There are actually items within the video that you really can't disagree with. But the person that I was replying to didn't bother to go look through the video at all. They just wanted to argue for the sake of arguing. And I'll actually throw you a bone. Item number 2.
I am never told that video games or the surrounding culture is not intended for me because I am male.
I have been told something similar to this, but not with video games. Just about every guy that likes My Little Pony is told this, that because we're male, we cannot like this cartoon. But when it comes to video games, I've never actually heard somebody say, that's not for boys. So when I look at this video in item number 2, I really can't disagree with that. I listed 4 items in the video that were horrible lies and misinterpretations, but for some reason, and tried to defend absurdities. Well, we'll start with item number 3.
I can publicly post my username, gamertag, or contact information online without having to fear being stalked or sexually harassed because of my gender.
Okay. Post my contact information online. Go ahead and watch that clip again.
I can publicly post my username, gamertag, or contact information online without having to fear being stalked or sexually harassed because of my gender.
This is known as the composition division fallacy. Just because there might be a problem on the internet does not necessarily mean it has anything to do with video games. He's conflating one issue with another. He's assuming that since it happens on the internet, it would happen in video games. Well, let me show you an example of what actually happens. The Pew Research Center shows that men actually do get harassed online. And you know what? They even get harassed online because of their gender.
When I go to a gaming event or convention, I can be relatively certain that I won't be harassed, groped, propositioned, or catcalled by total strangers.
By total strangers. Well, we're talking about a public space when we're talking about conventions. But the problem is, you're assuming that since it happens on the street, that it must also happen within the gaming community. The problem here is, you don't provide proof that it happens on gaming conventions, you just assume that it does. This, of course, assumes that women are not sexually attracted to men, that a woman would never flirt with a man, that a woman would never actually do any of these things. You're giving this ideology of women are as pure as the driven snow and would never flirt with a man, ever. Who are you kidding with this garbage? Of course women hit on guys. It's called sexuality. So basically, McIntosh is wrong on 2 counts. 1, women actually do catcall men. And 2, this is on the street and not actually in a gaming convention. So basically, I can say this. Since women do catcall men on the street, therefore, they must be able to catcall men at a gaming convention. Just using your logic there, Johnny boy.
My gaming ability will never be called into question based on unrelated natural biological functions.
This is the logical fallacy known as ambiguity. That means he's using double meanings and ambiguities of language to mislead or misrepresent the truth. Now, my fellow Redditors decided it would be a good idea to try to explain to me what exactly was meant here. But the problem is, it was ambiguous and vague. There was nothing actually specifically mentioned in the video. Have you never heard of a guy call another guy a pussy? Have you never heard of another guy saying, "Oh, do you have your panties in a bunch"?
Complete strangers generally do not send me unsolicited images of their genitalia or demand to see me naked on the basis of being a male gamer.
Well, this one's not all ambiguous. This one actually hits right to the point. Well, what point he's trying to make, I'm not quite sure of. I think he's referring to something called the dick pic. And what this is some guy pulling out their cell phone and taking a selfie of their genitalia. And of course, you can send this to a woman via email or a text message. None of this has anything to do with video games. Matter of fact, I'll give you an example. There was a man by the name of Brett Favre, who's one of the great quarterbacks for the National Football League. And when he was playing for the New York Jets, he decided that he was going to send a picture of his penis to one of the sideline reporters. Matter of fact, there's also an incident in Congress about a Democrat by the name of Wiener. What an unfortunate name. And what unfortunate that he had to leave Congress because he sent a picture of his crotch to one of the interns. We got a football player and we have a congressman as good examples of what I think McIntosh is getting at. Neither one of these are video game players. Again, this is conflating one issue with another. This happens over the internet, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has anything to do with video games. And of course, another problem with this comment is we have to pretend that women are as pure as the driven snow and that they would never actually take pictures of themselves. Yeah. Women like to take pictures of themselves, whether they have clothes on, or their underwear, or maybe a nude selfie. And you know what? They might actually send those pictures out too. But for McIntosh and feminist frequency, we've got to pretend that somehow women are always the victim and can never actually do that themselves. Well, that's bullshit. Women take pictures of themselves all the time. Hell, there's even a song called "Let Me Take a Selfie."
Together, we can make gaming better.
Together, we will make gaming better.
Yeah, like that's not creepy and ominous. We're going to force you to be free. We're going to force you to be better. Well, here's a quote from C.S. Lewis. But that's kind of the problem with dealing with feminist frequency, is they actually believe in their own righteousness, that they could never ever be wrong. And the supporters that they had just absolutely worship the ideas coming out of there and defend to the bitter end, no matter how wrong they might be. The tribalism is just appalling. We're going to make gaming better because they had the approval of their own conscience. Think about that. And the people that are defending feminist frequency, they have the approval of their own conscience as well. So why am I bringing up a month-old video and a month-old Reddit thread? Well, the shilling doesn't stop there. Recently, this month, Intel has decided that they're going to have an initiative to improve diversity within their own company. Well, $300 million initiative, and look at the logo on the right. Apparently, feminist frequency is getting in on this $300 million initiative. How much money are they getting? And what are they actually going to do for Intel? well, there's the charges of professional victimhood, all right. Bunch of moral business bodies trying to get paid. Well, they're getting paid, but their problem is I actually think that they believe the crap that they're spewing. But you know what? I'll say it again. Just because you believe something doesn't necessarily make it true. Hopefully I've shown in this video 4 different points of how the doctrine of feminist frequency are outright lies or logical fallacies in some way. So please, if you're at all concerned about what's happening in gaming, take into consideration that there are people that truly believe of themselves that they're above reproach and that they should be paid for their duties to make gaming better.